War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing, in the wise old words of Tom Jones. But it has never been more of a realistic possibility than it is right now, and it is frightening. We have conflicts in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. We have conflicts in the Middle East between Israel and Palestine. Quite literally, the whole world is blowing up before our very eyes. But the UK, the US, the Western world seems to be getting involved and encouraging these wars to take place. Why? So much so that the Russian ambassador to Britain has now said Britain is now directly involved in the Ukraine war, as its Storm Shadow missiles were used to strike targets inside of Russia. From my perspective, I look at it as, are the Brits at risk here? Because if Russia are now saying that the UK is directly involved, with the possible threats of nuclear escalation, which may well be hyperbole, because nukes, I mean, that's the whole game changer. That could just change the entire face of the earth. With one missile, one nuclear missile would change the world. And not in a good way. But, from my perspective, are the Brits under threat? Keir Starmer was asked this by a journalist. Listen to his response.
Just quickly, Russia's also threatened nuclear escalation. Are you comfortable with that when people at home are watching this, worrying that you could put us at risk?
Well, it's very important. It's very important that we're steadfast in our support for Ukraine. Russia is the aggressor,
Even
and
if
Russia,
it unleashes nuclear war?
Russia has to be the one that makes the move to stop this war. It's within their gift, but we must support Ukraine. It's impacting not just Ukraine; it's impacting the rest of the world, including the UK.
Is your message to viewers back home that there will not be a nuclear war, because that is what Russia is threatening?
My message is that we need to ensure that Ukraine is put in the best possible position. This is 1,000 days of conflict, and there is a very high cost if Russian aggression is seen to pay off.
Very reassuring, that, isn't it? So he didn't say we would be alright. He didn't say that the threat of nuclear war was off the table. And he didn't say we're striving for peace. Instead, what he's saying is we're going to keep supporting Ukraine till they win this war. Hang on a second. What happened to, and this may be a draconian thought to many, especially in politics, but what on earth happened to pursuing peace? But if we are going down the route of supporting Ukraine with every single pound that we have, then we have to look at it in terms of what are we going to send over for support? We're sending over weapons, so that's one thing. Are we also going to start sending over soldiers? Are we going to send over our own British sons and daughters to go fight in these wars? And anyone who thinks that conscription or national service is off the table entirely, given that Rishi Sunak is now out of Downing Street, think again. Just have a listen to these two army chiefs about the prospect of going to war with Russia.
If the British Army was asked to fight tonight, yes, it would fight tonight. And I don't think anybody in this room should be under any illusion that if the Russians invaded Eastern Europe tonight, then we would meet them in that fight. That would be the first point I'd make.
Thank you, General. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely certain that if the Russians invaded Eastern Europe, the British Army would be there. I'm a reserve officer, so I would probably be there with them.
If we go to war with Russia, we could find that our youth may have to be conscripted. That's a bit alarming.
Yes, head of the British Army, one of the most cerebral thinkers that we've got, a strategist. We need to listen and listen carefully. We've been too complacent. I think I've said this many times with you. What's coming over the horizon should shock us. It should worry us, and we are not prepared. We've had a couple of decades, 3 decades or so since the Cold War. Life has gone well. It's now going to get more difficult as authoritarian states exploit our timidity, our perhaps reluctance to really put fires out. And the best example of that is a democracy on the corner of Eastern Europe that in its 3rd year is now in conflict, and we've not resolved that. So Patrick Saunders is saying, prepare for what's coming over the horizon. There is a 1939 feel to the world right now. These authoritarian states are rearming.
Look, I don't want war. The world doesn't want war, but yet here we are. So we have to deal with the reality of the situation. If the worst case scenario did occur and nuclear war did break out, we would have to rely on our friends in the United States, being the Western superpower that they are. But a Pentagon official is saying that even US weapons are not good enough to take on Russia's nuclear threat. Quote, we're facing multiple nuclear competitors, multiple states that are growing, diversifying and modernizing their nuclear arsenals. So even America is not prepared. That is not good news. We live in such weird and dangerous times. Biden, Starmer giving all these weapons to Ukraine, authorizing them to use them. We're continuously, pushing or poking the Russian bear more and more. I don't know where this ends. I certainly hope it doesn't end in World War III, but it has never been more of a possibility than it is right now. I'll keep you all updated on this. I just hope that one of the updates that follows this video will be about peace, not continuously, provoking aggression. Let's actually try and get peace throughout the world. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. Are we edging closer to World War III? Are we already in World War III? Or is there still a chance that we can pull this back and actually get a sense of peace throughout the world? Let me know your thoughts down below. As usual, I'll be returning in the coming weeks, but until then, stay safe, stay blessed, stay free. Have a drink on me. I'll see you all real soon. Take care.